My beloved child, hear me out. This word is not merely another one. It cannot wait because it is a divine dispatch from heaven. At this moment, something is changing, more quickly than you thought, more profound than you anticipated. Something will knock. It'll get through. This isn't arbitrary. This isn't the norm. We are in a spiritual crisis. Your name is also being watched. I'm going to interrupt your timeline because I have something to say, and you need to hear it all. Don't stop. Don't scroll. Do not consider this to be background noise. That is a time of activation, acceleration, and alignment. This message is crucial to your future. As you listen, angels have a mission. Watch through to the finish. Not out of interest, but out of duty, because by the time this is all over, you will be transformed rather than just educated. Hear me now, my dear kid. I need your heart to stop racing, your soul to pay attention, and your spirit to fully awaken, because what I am saying is not just another fleeting idea. It's not a call to action. It's a divine warning. I'm shouting your name with the intensity of divine timing and the thunder of eternity in my voice. I've been waiting for this exact moment in your timeline. Additionally, I will not let this time be lost in a maelstrom of distractions. Heaven has bent low to confront rather than to console, to call rather than to calm. Today I refuse to be a marginal figure. I'm standing there in the middle of your life, screaming with rage in my breath and shaking the foundations you've been too accustomed to, not to punish you, but to set you up for the inevitable change. Both the weight of fate and the weight of decision-making are present in this instant. I speak from the halls of divine orchestration, the location of endless knowing, where every moment is precious and nothing is wasted. I also need you to comprehend, this isn't a word you happen to find. This is not a random message of encouragement. I am sending you this wonderful message from my heart. This is me, breaking your rhythm and shouting, "Look at me," as I reach through the veil. Listen, this is going to change everything. I've observed how you've been spending your days, half present, half guarded, attempting to strike a balance between faith and exhaustion, hope and realism. I've seen you smile through a soul that is silently disintegrating and wake up with a storm in your chest. I never called you to live this way, however, child, balancing self-preservation with surrender. I'm not simply trying to motivate you here. You've come to a point in your life where everything that happens in the future depends on what you decide to believe at this exact now. A faith that says, "Yes, Lord, even though I don't understand." The kind of faith that obeys when it is inconvenient, moves when it is uncomfortable, and trusts when it is trembling. I have set these words on fire. These words aren't comforting. They act as a defibrillator for your soul, retrieving what sorrow had buried, what stifled disappointment, what numbed terror. He does not have an earthly emergency. It's a divine summons. Not to frighten you, I'm not yelling. I'm screaming for you to be freed from the steadily numbing substance. This isn't self-control, it's deliverance. I draw you from delays into divine activity, from cycles into calling, and from passive belief into active alignment. Because of the irreversible nature of what I am lighting, I am shouting your name with eternal fire rather than casual breath. There's my voice in the air. You have my wind behind your back. The heavens are thundering with my authority. I shall not be disregarded, child. Yes, everything in the spirit world is moving right now, my child, even as I speak. You find yourself at the center of a heavenly tempest as the winds of heaven change their direction. Don't wait for heavenly indications. Do not wait for physical and biological confirmation. It's already a shift. There is no set date for it. It's stirring now. The invisible gears are deliberately grinding. A holy hour has been reached by the clock of destiny. And in order to bring you into what was written about you before your very first heartbeat, I have halted time itself. Is this not a metaphor? It's a maneuver. It's not an inspiration. Instruction is what it is. I came to make no recommendations. I arrived with a summons. Additionally, that tightness in your chest and the flicker of pressure building under your ribs are not signs of worry, but rather of activation. Inside of you, there is the emergency of alignment and waking. I have been waiting for the exact moment when your heart would be sensitive enough to react, when the divine need would finally overcome your inner reluctance. And this is it. That's it. Now is the time. You've received messages before, I know. I'm aware that you've skipped over hopeful remarks and stopped at words of encouragement that were good at the moment but eventually wore off. However, this word is distinct. Divine disruption is this term, isn't the only truth. It's the truth of time. My beloved child, if this message touched your soul today, if you felt deep within that God was speaking directly to you, then do not remain silent. Express your faith. Express your gratitude. By pressing the super thanks button, let heaven know that you heard, believed, and accepted this calling. Loved one, are you listening? Moments. It is the meeting point between the preparedness of your heart and the decree of heaven. It's not the move you're anticipating. You're already surrounded by it. It's in the way people have begun to disappear. It's in the odd tightness you had upon awakening. It's in the old roads that feel suddenly too tight for your spirit to travel and the unforeseen opportunities that present themselves. All of that. I'm like that. That's the change that's creeping into your daily existence. Look for thunder when I'm talking through tremors so you don't miss it. The ordinary should not be disregarded because it does not appear to be glory. Sacred subtleties are my area of expertise. I use pattern disruptions to communicate. I use holy nudges that have eternal weight to change destinies rather than explosions. That's what you're standing in right now. The commonplace has ended. Your next assignment scroll is already open, and your name has been called in the heavenly courts. Will it be given to you? Will the voice calling you out be heard long enough for you to stop running in circles? This is not an impolite interruption. It is atonement. The reason I broke into your beat was because it was ready to wear you out, not to embarrass you, but to protect you. I stopped your pace. You have been claiming strength while limping. Instead of discovering your calling, you've been managing your life. However, no more. Not at this time of year. In order to show you who you really are, I'm breaking your cycle. The version I was always familiar with before suffering, before betrayal, before you learned how to retreat from survival. You've mastered handling turmoil. However, I am now teaching you how to produce with clarity. You're not being asked to perform. Let me beg you to see. Take another look, kid. Clouds aren't clouds. They are glory's caregivers. Delays are not refusals. They serve as miraculous detours to conceal you while I rearranged your course. Currently, I am removing you from the backdrop. You don't need to consent to this change. All it needs is your involvement. Make sure your affirmation is heard over your fear. Override your doubts with your submission. Your back is to the wind. Additionally, the angels are already ahead of you. All of this is changing. Additionally, if you remain motionless for a sufficient amount of time, you will sense the earth beneath you sagging to make room for the next phase of your vocation. You're not experiencing pandemonium. It is affirmative. The divine dissatisfaction, the restlessness, the uneasiness, there's no need to medicate that. There's something to hear. I am intentionally moving through your atmosphere. I'm waking you up, putting an end to your distractions, and eliminating fake goods that impair your judgment. And until you see it and accept it, I won't stop until you think of this as more than simply a term. It is your message that is engraved in forever and will arrive at the precise moment that I have decreed. I'm interrupting you now. This is an invitation for you. This is your first step into the area of your life that the enemy said you would never get to. And it is presently taking place. The strain you've been experiencing is not a sign of weakness. It's not mental junk. I'm not experiencing too much emotion. Like waves against the coast, my voice is bearing down on your spirit, demanding attention. Your spirit is reacting before your head can catch up to the alert that has been raised in the invisible realm. I sent ripples through your body to guide you, not to upset you. Peace doesn't sink in when you lie down to rest because of the constriction in your chest and the beating in your heart. It isn't stress, it isn't exhaustion. The sacred tension between your past and future selves is that. The friction of transformation is palpable. Panic is not happening, it is foretelling. There isn't a breakdown. The birthing process is underway. Keep your holy becoming from being characterized as dysfunction by the language of this world. No, you're not breaking. You're being constructed. A heavenly ignition is taking place within you. Oil is in your hands and fire is beneath your feet. I've rekindled the aspect of you that had grown too accustomed to numbing. Over time, you stopped expecting, even if you were unaware of it. All of a sudden, you stopped bending forward. You accepted disappointment as a necessary part of the learning process. But my stirring never stopped. I knocked constantly. My activation never stopped. I increased the pressure to awaken you rather than break you. You were never supposed to learn to survive. You were made to rule by submission. And the activation has started. Your surroundings are unable to explain it. It might not be accepted by those around you. I didn't, however, provide them a confirmation. I engraved it on your bones. I concealed it in your breath. I'm that burden you've been carrying, not bothering you, but calling out to you. I'm bringing your fire to your attention, not your shortcomings. I've been getting questions like, "What is this I feel?" And I respond to you now, kid. Your rib cage is home to the drumbeat of paradise. It is the sound of your spirit being called upon to take a stand. No more procrastination, contemplation, or spiritual slumber. I have raised the alarm, not with sound, but with inner awareness. I'm arousing you from within. Heaven's precise movement toward you makes you feel a sense of urgency. The ground below you is teeming with manifestation. Instructions are whispered by the wind around you. People you meet are abruptly changing their positions, and your dreams are getting clearer and more vivid. It isn't a coincidence. That is the activation evidence. I'm turning up the volume inside of you till the background noise becomes insignificant. I'm not just trying to calm you down. You will experience holy pressure as a result of the power I am providing you, the kind that causes movements to burst and time frames to bend. Don't suppress your emotions then. Don't question what you sense. Emotional stress is not what this is. This is what you prayed for, a spiritual awakening. This is the divine realization of what I said I would do during your time in the wilderness. There is no way to snooze this alarm. It will continue to grow louder. I'm bringing forth your inner warrior. I'm calling on the builder within you to come forth. I am displacing confusion with clarity. Instead of waiting, give directions. You're not snarling, dear. You're developing. You aren't falling apart. You are discovering a side of me that you have never experienced before. It's activation. The alignment is divine. And until you get up and accept the fire I've put inside you, I will continue to stir. Child, you felt it, didn't you? That weird weight against your hours, the silence that feels more like anticipation than rest. You've sensed a shift in the environment, the way that time itself seems slower and thicker, as if something is holding its breath in your room. It's not imagination. It isn't exhaustion. That is the spirit's fabric that is changing all around you in real time. The eyes of heaven have shifted. The hourglass is inverted. Now, rather than delaying, the sand is speeding toward miraculous deliverance. This moment is anything but casual. You don't have this date on your calendar. Heavenly alignment and divine engravings make this a spiritual timestamp. I've moved the burden of time so that it lands squarely in your present, as a banner announcing the beginning of the shift, not as a burden. It will be a different scene. The burden is gone. The weight of prophecy and motion is what makes the air feel heavy. My word doesn't come in stealthily when it starts to come to pass. It arrives with anticipation, awe, and a wildness that breaks the routine. I don't show up as a whisper when your fate calls for a shout. And both are necessary at this point, child. I gave you the extra time so your spirit may rise. So that your judgment could keep up with my movements, I extended the hour. You inquired as to why I felt strange, the reasons why the chats didn't resonate, why habits that used to calm you now make you feel uneasy. I tell you now because your surroundings are no longer appropriate for the scope of your vocation. The walls are closing to force you out rather than to confine you. You weren't supposed to be this tiny. My splendor is growing inside you, and what was once comforting is now constricting. Everything that no longer serves your future dimension must be evacuated during an expansion. I didn't hurry you by flipping the hourglass. To remind you, I turned it over. This is your time. The heavenly hour of reversal is now. The never-ending loop that attempted to keep you alive has been broken by me. The repetition that pretended to be usual but was really a rut has been broken. Moving into your life isn't all I'm doing. Time itself is being rearranged in my favor to encourage your obedience. Things that used to take years now happen in a matter of days. Now what seemed like a long, quiet hallway would suddenly open into rooms that were ready long before you were. And pay attention to me, kid. I will not let you miss this moment. I've made the air feel heavier because of this. The hours seem to drag on forever. It's not a penalty. This tension is prophetic. The sacred gap between what will and what will be is where you are standing. And in order for you to experience the depth of what is about to happen, I am extending the seconds. Holy anticipation is what this is. Before the trumpet, there is silence. Before the parade, there is a halt. After this, nothing will look the same. And I say that with fire rather than fear. There will be assignments. Your buried callings will start to reappear with new oil. Your name will be engraved on the foundation of the halls I've constructed, and doors will abruptly close to reroute you. And you'll know it's me because it makes your spirit burn, not because it makes sense. Therefore, don't flee from the wait. Don't hurry the hour. Take a seat in it. Pay attention to it. Let it talk. Allow it to challenge you. Since I am no longer preparing you for breakthrough, since the heavenly hourglass is flipped, I am placing you at the center of it. I trust you to bear the burden of this moment, so I'm altering the way time acts around you. Nothing will appear the same, and the reason for that is that you will soon see me in a way that you have never seen me before, my darling. The silence that plagued your sleep, the quiet that lingered on your chest like an unanswerable query. Abandonment was never the case. I was never absent. It was my presence disguised as a plan. You think I'm quiet because I'm far away. However, I felt closer in the quiet than in the commotion. I allowed you to expand to hold what I was about to pour, which is why I sat with you in silence, not because I had nothing to say. I started soaking your spirit for the upcoming task in the sanctuary of solitude. Your prayers weren't being ignored by me. In order for the rain to not only refresh but also revitalize the ground under you, I was soaking it. The statement you made was, "But God, you didn't speak." I kept on waiting. I was talking during the waiting itself, I'll tell you that now. The delay was my voice. I was filling a vault with answers, experiences, and insights that couldn't be hurried while I was in a calm place you couldn't describe. I wait till the vessel is in place before I pour, and I wait until the soil has softened before I overflow. I heard every unanswered prayer, every sigh into the darkness, and you were never forgotten in that silence. I took a video of it. I wasn't idle. I was deliberate. I was safeguarding pledges that would have been broken under your previous pace, arranging dates you didn't comprehend, and arranging alignments you couldn't see. I kept you hidden to protect you, not to punish you. And now the silence is coming to an end, kid. The saturation is finished. I'm getting ready to pour power. The season of excess is upon you. It wasn't because you begged for it, but rather because you were obedient even though you had nothing to show for it. The cocoon was the silence. However, the wings are now developing. The quiet was prearranged. The plan was to dig deep enough roots to keep you from being shaken by the storm. And now, I will pour so much that the earth under you will quiver with witness. Resources will be made available, doors will open, and answers will come in more quickly than you can ask them. It's because you persevered, not because you deserved it. He pours for himself. It's accurate. It's strong. It also serves as evidence that what appeared to be stillness was actually saturation. Your character was drenched by me. I soaked up all of your knowledge. Your need was satiated to the point of desperation for me alone, and now you won't be blessed by what I spill. It will liberate others. The scent of someone who remained in the silent room long enough to hear my heartbeat will be carried by you. The oil of someone who prioritized posture over performance will be carried by you, and the world will witness a poured-out vessel full with heavenly fire in addition to a human. Therefore, don't hate the silence that existed. It was a plan. I'm pouring now. Listen carefully, child. The volume is now different. The mood has changed. I've stopped whispering. I am thundering over your soul's territory. And it has nothing to do with my anger. This is due to the urgency of the situation. Theoretically, fate does not linger at this hour. It requires you to take action in response. My silence has been effective. My voice is echoing through everything around you, and suddenly the silence that was sacred has broken. You can feel it in the air. In your spirit, hear it. The dry bones of your postponed expectations and lost faith are being rolled over by my thunder. It's not a gentle call. This is a pronouncement from a sovereign. The future tense is gone from the moment you've been anticipating. The decision cannot be postponed at this time. It is impossible to overlook the threshold. You're here. I need you to comprehend this. I'm not speaking louder for dramatic effect. The stakes are always high, which is why I'm escalating it. You've reached what I refer to as a decision window, a particular predetermined period in time where your obedience will determine the course of your future. Sometimes I talk quietly to reassure people, and other times I yell to wake them. The latter is this. The cadence of prudence and the rhythm of habit have lulled you, but I've broken that beat with discovery. The purpose of this thunder is not to frighten you. Its purpose is to eliminate your hesitancy. I'm making a clarion call, yet you waited for clarification. Now is not the time to tread carefully on unpredictability. Now is the moment to bravely enter the crucible of my presence. You won't be consumed by the fire. You will be commissioned by it. Because it's not just your comfort that's at risk. You're meant to do this. Your purpose is more than just your tranquility. I'm not going to let this moment go unanswered. To make sure you can hear me above the din, I'm speaking through the thunder. I'm talking above the dull hum of distractions that have dulled your ears, the static of doubt, and the buzz of dread. I'm calling for you to wake up. Passivity is not appropriate at this time of year. You shouldn't hold off till you're more prepared. I've sent the indicators you requested. I'm giving you the permission you've been waiting for, via tremor, through thunder, through truth. Destiny is not far away. It's here, waiting for your complete submission while standing in your room. I've broken your routine so you may break the habits that were holding you back. Out of caution, out of comparison, and out of the crowd, I'm calling you out. I won't wait for you to be flawless. I'm anticipating your involvement. Mountains move at this moment, by submitting to my thunderous word, not by force or effort. There's a beautiful echo in the middle of you. Every wall of reluctance you've constructed will reverberate with my voice until only holy decision is left. The heavens will open when you totally select me and respond without hesitation or fear. And not only with blessings, with light, with legacy, or with breakthrough. The purpose of this tremendous moment is to shake you of all your smaller identities. The thunder is not limited to your immediate surroundings. You possess it. And the one I've always seen is being called forth. The one concealed beneath years of self-doubt and survival. There is no coming of destiny. It's here. And it has to be decided now, dear. I see you, my darling child. The one that cries in private, not the one you present to the outside world. I can see how you have been clinging with a silent desperation wrapped around shaky hands, rather than with roaring might. You have grinned at the expense of your tranquility. When you wished to run, you nodded. You've shown up for other people while asking in private if someone will ever show up for you. And as a close-by hurting father, I have witnessed it all, not as an outsider. I've been there when you thought no one was looking. The shaky palms, the weary prayers, the performance-masked hollow moments. Yes, I witnessed everything. And I'm answering now, kid. You have persevered through times when your identity was in danger of being erased. My name has stuck with you, not because it always made sense, but because deep down you still thought I was close. Heaven was moved by a belief, no matter how flimsy. Your resignation reverberated across eternity louder than any lecture, even though you were unaware of it. The cheers others got in the spotlight were not as loud as your devotion in the lonely regions. And I, the Lord, who sees in secret, have documented every tear as a testament, every offering as holy, and every moment of triumph. I've put your personal complaints in the vaults of glory, and like holy DNA, I have encircled them with my promises. With holy conviction, I now announce, I'm answering. I'm not answering out of sympathy. I'm reacting powerfully. I'm not here to provide fleeting solace. I have a toad with me. Soon your shaking hands will contain more than just discomfort. Everything you watered with unseen faith will be carried by them. I amplified what others disregarded. I anointed what they missed. I have participated in your struggles as well as witnessed them. Where your power failed, I sent angels to stand. I've swung strength into your spine while you dragged yourself ahead and muttered tactics while you slept. The fruit is now on the verge of falling. You are transitioning from a season of invisible endurance to one of visible reward. The person who barely hangs on will no longer be you. The one who rises, carries, and multiplies will be you. Child, let me tell you a precious thing. Because you picked me without cheering, your shaking hands have touched heaven more profoundly than the loudest soldier's yell. You had broken hope when you trusted me. When nothing made sense, you held on to me. And the reason I'm answering right now is because of that faith, the quivering, trembling faith. This isn't a coincidence. This is an acknowledgement of persistence rather than excellence. And I'm bringing something into your life that you won't be able to shake. I'm going to put something in your hands that is so covered in divine fingerprints that it will be impossible for anyone to know who sent it. I'm reacting to your constancy as well as your cries. And because I'm going to demonstrate what I do for the person who persevered, what I bring next will silence the voices who previously declared they would never succeed. Trembling but determined to achieve greatness, I want you to listen to me with all of your heart. You're not breaking down. I've been creating this all along, and you're falling into it. Destruction is not the unraveling you fear. It is a work of divine design. You're not slipping. The old skin of survival is coming off of you. You are emerging from the cocoon of your former self. I am the one who is unweaving what you no longer require, even though it seems like everything familiar is slipping through your fingers. The unmaking is the only way I can remake you, so don't be scared of it, kid. The you who secretly sobbed. The you who accepted less. The you who was so enmeshed in shame. There is no punishment for aversion. It's being removed. Freedom is what appears to be weakness. Sacred shedding is what this is. You asked, God, make me new. But you were unaware that unraveling is the path to newness. I can't give you a new identity when you're holding on to old stories. I'm not stealing from you in order to harm you. I'm taking off what doesn't fit. And sure, I am aware that the shedding is depressing. I understand how confusing it may be to be halfway between being who you were and not yet fully embracing who you're becoming. However, this space in between is not empty. It has changed. I'm stitching your identity together, strand by strand, in this sacred area. Since I'm not creating a costume, I'm not hurrying this process. A calling is being revealed by me. I am not merely bestowing a title upon you. I'm putting together a testimony. Even though you might feel unfinished, you are not. You are undergoing a complete transformation. And every thread that seems to be coming free is actually creating space for me to provide you meaningful clothing. You're not broken, kid. They're building you. Abuse is like holes. You are removing the facade of well-behaved and productive. Additionally, I'm enveloping you with favor and flames. The version of yourself that complied with other people's expectations, that gave in to fear, that postponed fate in the name of realism, is escaping from your spirit like smoke after a tempest. What's left? The essence of the person I created you to be. Unashamed, unwavering, and unapologetic. This is the person who can bear the responsibility of your task. This is the version of you that won't shrink when you enter spaces, that will lead without turning back, that will speak without faltering. Don't flee from the shedding then. Embrace it. Allow the layers to drop like leaves in the fall. Allow the outdated scripts to burn. Allow the previous structure to break. There is more shedding to come. This is just the start. Although elevation necessitates excavation, you wished for it. The things that bound you to your smallness had to be pulled tighter, shaken looser, and dug deeper. What's being shown now is brilliant. The revelation is sacred. You're not unraveling. You're revealing. You're not disintegrating. You're going up. It's not a breakdown. This is a slow-motion breakthrough. So raise your hands, shaky as they may be. Raise your face, even if you have a tear streak. Since I, your deity, am not observing your downfall, I'm rearranging each component to create a masterpiece. The spirit is rising, yet the shell is breaking. When you reflect on this disintegration, you'll think, that's the moment I finally saw who I really was. The pain didn't get worse because I left my kid. Because the promise is tensely approaching the release barrier, it became more profound. The absence of heaven is not what you're experiencing at the moment. It is the proximity to fulfillment. In this contraction, I haven't left you. I am nearer than God, nearer than breath, and nearer than heartbeat. I am this miracle's midwife. The gates are opening, I tell you now. The birth is almost here. The promise is crowning. You are working toward victory rather than tragedy. Death pangs are not what this is. It's delivery pains. Even if the suffering might seem insurmountable, remember this. It's not a penalty. It's foretelling. You haven't realized how long you've been carrying this promise. The wilderness seemed pointless to you. The silence seemed sterile to you. However, I was creating something holy within you. Something so laden with my glory that it took divine timing, flawless placement, and superhuman endurance. At first, I let the contractions come gradually. Pressure-filled moments and painful pulses have become more intense as a result of the promise's inability to remain buried. You've hit the tipping point. The crown is evident in the spirit. In agreement, the heavens are moaning. Angels are in a state of alertness. I am in the room, not as a bystander, but as the author and finisher of what you are birthing. And push, I tell you. I know you're fatigued. I understand that you feel like your strength is being torn apart, but don't let suffering deceive you. This intensity is meant to be interpreted by the enemy as desertion. But I say it's development. I have not gone quiet. I have gone deep. I'm whispering through the water breaking, through the breathless times where you believe you can't go on. Because of the unusual nature of what is passing through you, you can and will. It's ordained, and I wouldn't let the pain increase unless the gates were already swinging open. I don't play games with your heart. I don't tease you with fake labor. It's time when I say it is. This is not an arbitrary ache. It has a beat. Through your obedience, a kingdom's drumbeat is being heard. There is no danger in this pressure. It's a trumpet. Lean in then. Gush with gratitude. Inhale with faith. Don't give up even if you have to cry. Crowning is the promise. There it is. Every voice that warned you it was too late, too difficult, or too broken will be silenced by what follows. You're not collapsing. You're cracking open. This discomfort is evidence that you are carrying something genuine, uncommon, and bright. And you will forget the pain when you hold it and see its fullness. You'll understand why there was more fighting, why the tears seemed to go on forever, and why the nights were so long, because what I'm giving you is more than just a dream. It's manifestation of destiny. Take my hand then. Keep your gaze on me. Your enemy is not the pain. This indicates that your promise is about to come true. I want you to take another look. Use your spirit instead of your eyes. The pressure has been interpreted by you as a result of your actions. You've been wondering why it seems so intense, weighty, and relentless. Let me correct the record, though. This pressure isn't a form of discipline. This is suffering for a purpose. This is power pushing through areas that you were unaware were ready. Heaven's disappointment is not what you're going through. This is the delivery room of heaven. A heavenly emergency is centered on you, not because something is going badly, but because something is going well. Angels are mobilized by me. Currents have been redirected by me. The moment is here, so I've pulled time taut like a bowstring, ready to propel you forward. And the spiritual atmosphere is vibrating because of you, my dear. You are not being ignored by heaven. It's fixated on what I've ingrained in you. You're exactly where I called you to be, which is why the pressure has increased, not because you're off course. The deception that this pressure is evidence of abandonment is one that the enemy wants you to believe. However, child, diamonds are brought to the surface by pressure. For seeds to sprout, the earth must be broken open by pressure. Tectonic plate movement and mountain formation are caused by pressure. This isn't a penalty. This is a promise in action. And keep in mind that the tomb had to close before resurrection could occur. When you feel like everything is collapsing, your surroundings could feel confining, gloomy, and overpowering. However, what is going to happen to you will be more glorious than you could have ever imagined. It's a heavenly tension, heaven's sign that your existence isn't running on a human schedule, is the intensity. This is a heavenly interruption, a spiritual summons, and an emergency in the purest meaning of the word. I have summoned all the light forces into place because what you carry is not incidental, rather it is hereditary. So I have given war room angels the task of fighting what you cannot see. You're not like the others. You are not forgotten. You're not running late. Something timeless is centered on you. Even as you read these lines, things are changing in areas you are unable to identify. The chains are breaking. Doors are shaking. Your name is already spoken in the reorganized rooms that you haven't yet entered. I have removed obstacles that others believe to be bluff. I've set some traps to catch you. The sirens are shrieking because of you, child, and I've raised the alarm in heaven. Therefore, breathe despite the weight. Worship despite the tightness. Even in the absence of improvement, give praise. You're not meant to be crushed by this pressure. It is here to give you a crown. You're not laid to rest. You're entering a realm that is more significant, sacred, and potent than you could have ever imagined. What distinguishes this holy emergency from others? This is it. I sent more than just assistance. I arrived by myself. I'm not merely observing. Together, you and I are marching into the fire. I am not speaking from heaven alone. Sitting in your storm is me, and my purpose in coming this near is to promote, not to punish. Now, let all life disappear. Lift up all the weights that don't belong. Because the person who created you is present and prepared to demonstrate why this particular moment is more significant than all others, and because the pressure is sacred. Heaven's entire focus is on you. And that indicates a great thing is going to happen, kid. You can sense the movement, the urgency, the stirring, and the indisputable fact that everything is changing. I now extend an invitation for you to join me in my journey, through you, not just in you. You're not merely giving when you stitch into this message. The oil that spreads my fire is being ignited by you. Through you, I am able to reach lives in danger, souls in distress, and hearts on the verge of collapse. The person who re-energizes others will re-energize himself, and I will run over, press down, shake together, and pour back into you measure for measure. I am the one who creates rivers in deserts, feeds prophets with ravens, multiplies bread, and will not leave your seed undone. Now join me as a partner. Make use of the super thanks. Watch what I release when you move during my shift by subscribing to the membership or making a donation using PayPal below. Now, dear, pay attention to me. Your spirit has already sensed the vibrations, but your natural eyes have not yet picked up on these motions. I have sent out angels with holy haste, not reluctance. They are not awaiting additional authorization. They're not pretending to follow the rules. They are hurtling across dimensions, already in mid-flight, with assignments bearing your name and weaponry made from my word. These are not only comforting messengers, they are fighters for fulfillment. They have the power to knock down walls that are unseen to human sight and to break down barriers you were unaware were preventing you from moving forward. Their silence does not imply inactivity. Rather, it indicates that they are moving quickly, precisely, and softly. They are more accurate than any lie told against you, more powerful than resistance, and quicker than fear. I sent no whispers. I sent a wave, a flood of spiritual activity that is rerouting what the enemy believed he had locked down, upending plots, and altering atmospheres. You've questioned why folks have withdrawn without cause. What caused certain plans to abruptly fail? The reason is that my angels have stepped in. They are eliminating fake links. Deals made in secret are being dismantled. They are blocking doors where compromise attempted to enter and unlocking gates where men refused. You wanted signals, I know. You've prayed for clarity. I know. This is your affirmation. I'm not going anywhere. I'm relocating. There's noise in the heavens. They are whirling. On your journey, you are surrounded by movement, action, and wonders. For a time, allow me to lift the veil. Your name appears on certain scrolls, promises sealed in lamb's blood, written in fire, and timed with precision that only eternity can comprehend. Additionally, those scrolls are now active. This hour has been anticipated by the angels who have been assigned to you since birth. They have stood motionless, keeping an eye on you, shedding tears alongside you, and documenting your submission in the invisible. However, they have now been instructed to go, and they move with divine velocity rather than carelessly or cautiously. Here's what you should know. They're not here to help us survive. They're bringing change. They are bringing strategy, not leftovers, but legacy instead of scraps. Additionally, each obedience-based step you take makes room for them to land with more force. Thus, quit pleading in your prayers. As if it had already been liberated, begin to walk. The assistance you required has already been sent out. They are dismantling the resistance. Barriers are being broken by the backup, and the barricades that were immobile earlier are now quivering. It's because of my authority, not because of your effort. You are not fighting this war alone. You're not fighting with nothing. You're not motionless. You are encircled by activity, by holy assignment flames that won't go out until what I've said happens. My angels' wings are smeared with the grease of fate, and they are in mid-air. Raise your head, kid. The assistance you've been waiting for is already in the air and is directly on its way to you. Hear me well, my child. The walls that felt like concrete are now starting to shake. The locations where you repeatedly encounter resistance. The doors were icy and unyielding regardless of the duration of your knock. The seasons appeared to be delayed. The sound of my voice is now making them tremble. I've stopped whispering. I'm giving orders, and creation obeys my commands. I can open what has been closed without a key. I don't compromise with those that attempted to exclude you. In your face, I tear open doors that should never have been shut. I'm not simply opening them this time either. To ensure they never close on you again, I'm taking the hinges off. I referred to it as divine setup, but you labeled it delay. I named it Sagan, but you called it Suck. I was secretly getting ready while you were pacing in exasperation. Behind those doors, I've been cultivating the ground, setting up connections, removing imposters, and assigning the appropriate names to the appropriate rooms. And the time has finally arrived. You haven't heard my voice yet. The resistance has been crushed by my power. Your recent sense of weight, odd agitation, and abrupt stirring are all signs that the spiritual ground is obeying my order. I'm currently tearing down all of the doors that were closed by trauma, sealed by generational habits, and reinforced by guilt and fear. It's not a soft knock. This invasion is amazing. I'm not requesting access. I'm occupying land. I'm visiting the locations you believed were lost to time, into possibilities you thought had passed you by. I'm not simply giving you hope again, I'm bringing back the basic meaning of that hope. You don't have to solve it. You must pay attention to what I say. You'll be able to tell when I say move, that it's strategy rather than a suggestion. Don't ask questions when you observe doors opening that you haven't touched. Go through. Don't question yourself when invitations start coming in from people you've never contacted. I planned it. I called your name in places where you haven't yet set foot. With a sound that only heaven can produce, I am upending the foundations of restriction, and now it's reacting. So, raise your head. Delete the embarrassment of tardiness. You weren't at fault. Time was not squandered. Until the scheduled release, it was a divine hold. The release has arrived, child. The locks are snapping. The hinges are flying. Barriers are coming down. Jericho is surrounded by light walls. This isn't arbitrary, it's reverse. This is the application of divine justice. Now everything that attempted to keep you out will see the doors thrown open to let you in. You won't simply stroll through either. You will experience carrying authority, legacy, and fire. You still have to wait. This is where you start to walk. My command is still reverberating, and another door opens with each echo. Zeb goes ahead. It's open. Take a deep breath, beloved. This particular moment is more than just a turning point at the moment. This intersection is sacred. This day on your calendar isn't just any day. The override is amazing. I'm stepping into your timeline as the author, not a bystander. I can see how the adversary attempted to weave his lies into your narrative. Phrases like unworthy, never, insufficient, and too late. He composed them while you were weak and hoped you would think they would last. However, I am the one with the ultimate pen. I'm going to erase his handwriting, I tell you. With the ink of my blood, I'm wiping out every falsehood, label, and limiting notion that was sewn into your soul as a result of trauma, rejection, or failure. Your life isn't being edited by me. With glory, I write it. You have had times when it seemed as though the plot of your life had been stolen, where it appeared as though the adversary was in control and was guiding your days into chaos and uncertainty. But allow me to rectify your viewpoint, youngster. The adversity never ends. He wrote entirely in pencil, and it's me who has the eraser. The seal belongs to me. What remains and what is eliminated is up to me, and I'm intentionally touching your timeline right now, strategically, not haphazardly, not sentimentally. I'm reaching back into the spaces where you lost bits of yourself. The hours you believed were wasted are being reclaimed by me. It seems like detours are turning into freeways, but I'm redeeming the years that grief attempted to consume. What appeared to be harm is now destiny. Holy Revan is this. You must realize how serious this situation is. I'm altering more than just your future. I am mending your history. I'm not only getting ready for the next step. What was is being repaired by me. The adversary attempted to tarnish your early years. I'm writing selected, In the chapters of your loneliness, he attempted to write forgotten. I am writing discovered. He inscribed failure on your failures. I'm signing up for favorite. I am the God who changes past ends in addition to bringing forth fresh starts. I bend time itself in this moment, which makes it sacred, where the past no longer dictates the future. Your story is being breathed into by my spirit to reframe your memories rather than to eliminate them. Where I was all along, you'll see. You'll see that the pages that were dripping with tears were the ones that I treasured the most. So let me take care of your tired timeline, child. If these words make your heart feel my presence, then take this message to those who need it and share it with your friends and family. Subscribe to the channel and join us on this journey. Amen.